You're listening to East Wave FM, and yes, it is 8 minutes past 9 on the chat network with Naz, and it is going to be a good one, 24th of June. What are we doing here? But anyway, you have those midweek questions that you ask yourself. We're neither here nor there, but one thing I can tell you is that our guest, every Wednesday, he puts things so nicely in perspective for us. And we've got a welcome coach Zay to help us, especially today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Yeah, what are we doing here?
What are we doing again?
What are we even talking about today?
And that is the question that our listeners are probably also eager to know. Well, it's Men's Mental Health Month for the entire June, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking everything that affects men. Your mental health, even though we hate that word, mental health.
Yeah.
But why does it matter that we talk about this?
I think just like on mental health, I think mental health, we should start using it as a term to refer to people who are mental about their health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we can move on to like, hey, what about being human?
Yes.
Because being human as a man is not the easiest thing, eh? Especially not with all the kind of tropes and nonsense that we got going out there in the mainstream these days about telling men how it is that they're supposed to be, versus how it is that people need them to be versus what they're responsible for. And all. There's so much of contradiction and conflict. It makes it next to impossible to decide when you're doing it right and when you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm. We've also witnessed the change in how men view their own mental health and other, we've got metrosexual males now. Where I will never forget one day going into my neighbor's house, and they were just guys. It was just sons, and I saw a GHD hair straightener, and I said to the mom, I said, "Oh, auntie, it's so nice you've got. I always wanted." She's like, "That's my son's straightener." I'm like, "Huh?" And she says, "Yeah." And I went to him, and I'm like, "What's going on with you?" And he says, "Yeah, look at this. It's just my hair so sleek now." And I'm like, "What is happening here?" But that's just it, right?
Yeah, and now someone will tell you like got a problem with this whole gender thing and all of that,
Yes.
and like sort of stereotyping and that's what I'm saying. Like, on the one hand, we want to expect men to show up in a certain way, and on the other hand, we're telling them don't be the way you need to be to show up like that.
Yeah, and then we've been programmed to think that a man does not use a GHD, for example. A man does not.
Oh, all the uncles with the GHD beards are now judging you.
I better watch my back. But it's just we grew up thinking like boys are rough and tumble, and to see a guy in the aisle at the pharmacy choosing skin products and being picky about it now, we've had to really, and it's admirable that self-care has become a thing,
Yeah, but self-care is not necessarily good hygiene.
That's very, very another conversation.
Because we have the aesthetic going and it's polished.
Yes.
And like just don't like get too close.
Yeah. That's a topic that we must tackle.
Self-care versus hygiene.
Self-care versus hygiene,
When is it too much?
Yeah. Or too little. So we've got myths about men's mental health that I want to tackle today. Real men don't show emotion or vulnerability.
Nah, that's absolute nonsense.
Okay.
Right, and it's nonsense for even being a statement that is supposed to be a myth in the first place, because that's someone else's distortion of how it is that men actually express emotion and vulnerability. But like I said last week, I think it was, men are not going to express themselves the way women express themselves because we're not women and women are not men. We need to stop expecting them to be the same. So if a man feels vulnerable, you're going to see his vulnerability if you know what to look for. If you understand the man, if you understand that man who is feeling vulnerable. And that vulnerability is not going to come out as like, oh, I'm so weak and I'm so needy and I need you to like support me and I need you to make me feel better about myself. That's not going to be the way a man is going to express himself. A man is going to express himself usually through anger or frustration or irritation or avoidance or something along those lines, because the reason why he's feeling vulnerable is about his own belief relative to what it is that he needs to do for others around him. Or what he needs to show up as, or how competent he needs to be in something. The whole approach of prescribing how people are supposed to expect or even express different emotions is just ridiculous. That's why we've got so many people on the spectrum these days, and so many people with ADHD, and so many people with bipolar and depression and everything else, because we don't see the human anymore, or what it is that they're experiencing as a human. We just see how it is that they're supposed to be. You're supposed to be like this. You're supposed to approach life like that. You're supposed to have holistic looking like this, and you're supposed to have your diet looking like that. Shut up. Like, where did we become so nonsensical about being human?
And where did the prescription come from? The you're
Prescription.
supposed to.
Yeah.
What's the origin of that?
Let's give someone reason to cancel me today. I think it's all the gurus who came from a victim mindset that thought they're going to save the world. And suddenly they want to prescribe to everyone how it is that you're supposed to be like this and you're supposed to be like that. And because they have a gripe against their own culture or their own background, their own traditions, or even their own religion, suddenly they want to save everyone from it. And that's why we become so prescriptive about it. Like, you must do it like this and you must do it. Understand the context of someone else's life before you want to tell them how they must live.
I think that's very important. The context of somebody's life, especially when you're advising somebody, and they come to you for advice, and you don't know the full context.
Yeah.
You can actually your advice can be lethal.
It has been many times, right? How many people have got completely destroyed family structures because of bad advice?
Yeah.
Bad advice that convinced them that they were victims and that they were being treated badly and everything else. And all of this ties down to how it is that the reality of a man these days is that they don't have that kind of standing or that role to play anymore, because everyone wants to have a say about it. But at the same time, they're still being criticized for not showing up as a man. So what are we supposed to do? Show up as a man, and then you're going to tell us how we mustn't be a man even though you're not a man?
Yeah, like show up as a man, but be less manly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be everything and do everything that I need from you and want from you and need you to be, but don't have expectations in return.
That's very unfair.
It is, and we're talking about men, right? But this applies both ways.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of people who want to tell everyone else what it is that they expect from them, but are not allowing anyone to have expectations of them. So if you have expectations of someone in your life, you need to understand that that person also has expectations of you. But these days we're so fixated on what we need and what we want and how we feel that we don't consider how anyone else needs, wants, or feels about anything.
And that, that kind of an imbalance. What kind of a relationship is that?
You just want me to use that word, right? The N word. That's a very serious narcissistic trait. We don't have narcissists. We have people who have narcissistic traits. And every one of us at some point or another will be narcissistic. I honestly believe that there has to be a touch of narcissism in every single person for them to be able to self-preserve, right? But it's when you have imbalance that it's a problem. And imbalance is not someone else's idea of balance. Imbalance is within the context of your life, your relationships, and your expectations and your responsibilities.
Men are protectors and providers, as you say, problem solvers, but who solves their problems?
Well, that's part of the problem now, right? Men don't even realize themselves what problem they're solving when they go for this mainstream mental health nonsense that says that, self-care looks like this, and now you need to GHD your hair, and you need to have these cleansing products and these lotions and these toners and all of these things, and you must go for manicures and pedicures. Okay, cool. Whether you do it or you don't do it, really neither here nor there. What problem is it solving? And the problem that it's solving is that the problem that gives you purpose in life. And that's the biggest problem, is that most people, men and women, they don't live purposefully anymore. They don't have a greater purpose that they actually subscribe to and that they're aspiring towards serving. Everything is about the transaction in front of them. How do we need to be seen? How do we want others to see us? And how do we need you to show up? And what's the point?
Exasperating.
So I come in there perfectly groomed and with the right aesthetic and the right athletic build and body and the right bank account and the right car and the right everything social. What problem am I solving for you besides your social stature? So men who are persistent in driving for those goals, those tokens, I can tell you one thing for sure, is that they are going to consistently feel unfulfilled and they're consistently going to need escapes. And that is the biggest reason why we have such reckless behavior amongst not just men, but women as well these days, but especially men, is the escapism. Sometimes it's unhealthy, sometimes it's reckless, sometimes it's dangerous, sometimes it's absolutely destructive. But the amount of escapism that men are experiencing these days, that escapism is because what it is that they think they need to do and show up for is not actually feeding them. It's just ticking a box.
Yeah. And when you think about what would the issues be, is he's always with his friends. The common things that couples complain about is that a man is always on his phone, he's always with his friends, he's always working, he's always anywhere but here.
Yes.
We don't feel his presence here. So that would be the forms of escapism.
Let's get it cancelled again. So women that often complain about he's always on his phone, he's always with his friends and everything else, right? How many of those women are going to someone else to find out why he's doing that instead of speaking to him?
That's a very good question.
Right? And how many people are they complaining to about it rather than actually sitting down and understanding why? Now, when you want to understand why, you don't ask why and then wait for them to tell you what you need to hear. Then you're not looking to understand why. Then you're looking for validation. And that's a problem, right? There's a popular Facebook group where everyone goes and asks questions, and every single time someone goes on there and says, my husband is on his phone and my husband is doing this and my husband is doing that, what am I to do, and is it a red flag, and blah blah. My first question is, why are you asking this group of people who know nothing about your life, doesn't know your husband, doesn't know you, why are you here? Because you want to be validated for how difficult it is to live with a man like that. Meanwhile, you're across the room from that same man, and you can't sit and talk to them about why it is that they're on their phone, because you don't like the answer you get, so you're not going to try to find out why that's the tone of the relationship you share with the person who's supposed to be making a life with you.
And then you basically inhabit the victimhood.
Yes.
The victim neighborhood, so you're in victimhood. And the fact is that you're not looking for solutions, you're looking for somebody to reinforce and let you know, yes, you are correct. So how does that solve any problem?
It creates more problems than it solves. And who gets left behind in all of this? The children. So now when we look at our children and we see how they're living and we see how they fantasizing about what their ideal life looks like and what a good partner looks like and all of that, we can hate on social media, but we need to understand that the reason why they turn to social media is because they don't have any credibility in their relationship with their parents as advisors. And that's one big thing that I've seen across the board, is that parents fail in their efforts to establish themselves as trusted advisors for their children. Now, if the father is supposed to be a provider, protector, leader, kind of problem solver, how much of what we're doing to men these days is completely not just undermining or diminishing, but destroying their ability to be taken seriously as an advisor? We don't have that. We don't even trust advisors who are in credible positions. The only time we trust someone is if they have authority and they can impose consequence.
Very true.
And the only other time we trust them is if they're going to judge in our favor.
So are people really looking to improve relationships? Because what you're saying is resonating here to a point where I'm like, well, then how then do we solve our issues? How then do we strike that perfect balance? Or not even perfect balance, because it's different for everyone.
Yes.
But how do we, tackle this in a way that creates or fosters a healthy environment for relationships to thrive and grow? Why are we turning to social media in the first place? To air our laundry. People say, I want to stay anonymous. It's amazing. People screenshot this. Yeah. And they're like, oh, that sounds like you. And then it's more drama. Even though it says on top anonymous, people are like, this is your life, friend. You need to go for him.
People underestimate the fact that when you show up as anonymous in any of these groups, the admins of those groups know who that anonymous person is.
Yeah.
Right? And the admin of that group is not going to be a saint.
I don't think people consider that, eh?
And there's more than one admin of the group, and those admins of the groups are usually co-opted in from time to time from different people, usually volunteers, things like that. So there's no vested interest in maintaining your privacy.
Yeah, where was that agreement of confidentiality
Yes.
signed? Do you have it?
And if you post anything in a public domain, it is public. It is not private. It is not confidential. It is not sensitive. It is public. So here's the thing. To solve all of these problems, one simple thing. What standard do you hold yourself to?
Oof.
Most people don't even know what standard they hold themselves to.
I don't even think there's a standard. There are some cases where you would literally see that, you know what, there's no values, there's no standard here. It's just tit for tat, you know, and in tit for tat, we lose sight of respect.
But you see, that is the standard you hold yourself to. The fact that you don't have a clearly defined standard means that's how low your standards are.
Yeah.
And that's the standard you're holding yourself to. You can't blame the world for that.
Yeah.
You can't blame your partner for that. You can't blame your children for that. You can't blame your family for that. If you've always got a reason to blame something, someone, or somewhere about why it is that you are like this and you are like that and why you can't do this and why you can't do that and why you need this and why you need that. If it's always someone else's fault, then you're the problem.
So the next myth is asking for help or going to therapy is a sign of weakness.
What is therapy?
What is therapy?
Well, if you go according to the mainstream tropes about it, then yeah, it's easy to try and take that and turn it and use it against someone. You're the one that went for therapy, so you must be the one with the problem. No. That's why we need to break this, and not just break it, we need to completely destroy and undo this entire stigma about therapy. When life gets tough, it gets tough because you don't understand how it's working right now. That's not therapy. That's seeking understanding. That's looking for wisdom, looking for guidance, looking for insight, so that you can understand why it is that things just don't make sense to you, so that you can make sense of it and make informed decisions about what you want to do about it. It's that simple. Now you go and say you must go to someone who's going to give you therapy. Does that person know you? Do they know your life? Do they know your childhood? Do they know your upbringing? Do they know the context of your life? Do they know the context of your home? Do they know any of the things that really, really shaped you? No, they don't. So here's where it gets really interesting, right? So now you say, yeah, but they're therapists and they're trained and they're educated and all of these things. Okay, great. But they're still going to be soliciting feedback from you based on what you think about your life and what you think is important, what you think is not important. Right? Are you looking to understand it better, or are you looking for someone to tell you what to do with it? If you're looking for someone to tell you what to do with it, how to cope with it, how to thrive because of it, you're not solving any problems. You're creating more problems.
Why is it that talking about your problems is seen as a sign of weakness in certain cultures?
I would go as far as saying it's seen as a sign of weakness in all cultures. It just depends on what kind of problems the culture is willing to tolerate.
Okay.
Right? But the reason why it's seen as that is because you're so busy judging yourself that you're projecting the judgment onto how you think others are going to see you. Now, here's the thing. Even if people are going to judge you for being weak, you have to care about their credibility and their judgment against you for you to actually have that as a reason not to do something.
And to be affected by it.
Yes.
They say, I don't know who said it, but before you are, diagnosing yourself with any kind of mental illness, first ask yourself if you are in fact surrounded by those types of people.
Yeah.
You know? So who are you surrounding yourself with? You know, what kind of power do you give them in terms of credibility of opinion? How does that opinion affect you? Why do you allow it to affect you?
Basically, you're saying that I'm judging myself I'm holding myself to the standard that you hold me to.
Yes.
But I don't like you holding me to that standard, so I'm going to fight with you.
Yeah.
But I'm fighting with you because you're holding me to a standard that you're holding me to, and I don't have a standard of my own, but I don't like the standard you're holding me to. And you see the insanity.
And then I want to prove you wrong, but you don't matter to me.
Yeah, you don't matter to me. That's why I'm spending so much time arguing and proving you wrong.
And getting therapy.
Yes. So, you don't get angry at someone who doesn't matter to you, and you don't explain yourself to someone who doesn't matter to you.
Yep.
So if you're explaining yourself to everyone and you're getting angry at everyone, that means that Everyone matters to you while you're in denial about the fact that they matter to you. But
Yes.
how do they matter to you? They matter to you because you need everyone to see you a certain way.
Yeah.
You need everyone to validate your struggle and to provide assurance about how good you are relative to everything you've been through and all of that.
Yes.
Hey.
It's exasperating. It's a hamster wheel that we create.
I think even hamsters have more fun than us.
That's very, very true.
But can you see how crazy it is? And all of this, we're saying, well, we are the men, right? And my question is to the men, where are you? Where are you guys? With all of the social justice campaigns that are going on at the moment, I don't see the men who are building themselves up in gyms and everything else at the forefront of those things. So what problem are you solving with all that strength and all that weightlifting and all of that aesthetic that you're building up about yourself? It has to be purposeful. What is it serving? What is it doing for you? What is it serving for society, for the people around you? How is it protecting them, making them feel safer? Or do they now feel more vulnerable because of your rage, because of the roids that you're taking and everything else?
Do you think that that generation, right, that we're referring to are in the gyms to do whatever, but not have a purpose, are they as community conscious as generations before them?
I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because, yes, they have a sense of community because you have now the gym culture and you have those social circles. So
That's
everyone,
community.
that's how we shape community, right?
Yeah.
But like, which community are we supposed to be serving, right? And going to gym has its place. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, if you have a job that demands that you sit at your desk 8 hours a day and things like that, and you're not going to have as much activity in your life outside of that working hours as you would like to have, then gym has its place. But you need to understand why you're doing it. And if you're doing it just because you need to feel good and look good, then you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Okay.
Because the reason why you need to feel good and look good through self-care in that way is because you don't have something that gives you fulfillment outside of that. That means work doesn't fire you up. Being at home doesn't fire you up. Showing up for your family doesn't give you that sense of fulfillment and warmth and a sense of amazing purpose in life. So you need to take stock about what is your life about and what is the purpose of it.
Yeah.
And don't do it from a selfish perspective, because then you're going to arrive at all the wrong conclusions and you're going to make drastic decisions that's going to cause more problems and hurt a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think that, people experience, men experience their sadness or their depression differently.
Yes, completely.
How so?
Men, because of their analytical nature, their depression is a consequence of not being able to find an answer to the solution to the problem that they're looking to solve. The problem is that most of them are so distracted they don't know which problem they need to solve. They just feel like, I don't matter, I don't count, I'm useless.
What happens to that man?
That man needs to take a step back and realize how much he's feeling sorry for himself. And I'm not saying this in an insensitive way. It's the self-pity about how you think others see you and how you're beating yourself up that prevents you from seeing everything that you can do. And that's a whole different discussion on its own, right? Because people are defined by what they think others are going to find value in. And if people don't think something is a respectable thing to do or an admirable thing to do or something that is worth acknowledging, then they won't even try to do it. So if you don't know who you are and what you're about, if you don't know what defines you, what standard you hold yourself to, how do you keep yourself honest, what is it that you find as purposeful in life, if you don't know any of that, you're going to be driven by what people think of you, and that's where depression comes from.
How does one get to the knowing of what your purpose is or what you should be doing? How do men get to that point, or anyone?
This might sound a bit, I don't know, let me just say it. I think if you focus on your internal dialogue, that internal conversation that everyone's got going with themselves, focus on what is it focused on. Like, try to observe and see what is the dialogue actually talking about. Is it talking to how it is that you're going to prove to people what you're about and how great you are and how you have arrived? Is it about how it is that you're making excuses to people? Is it about how it is that you're trying to convince people about why it is that something is important to you? And if you're trying to wonder which one between those options are more healthy or unhealthy, all of them are unhealthy. Because your focus is on what it is that you want people to think of you, not what you think of yourself.
When you talk
think of
about,
yourself?
Observing internal dialogue, most people don't think they can observe. They think they are having it.
Oh yeah, because everyone wants to subscribe to this. Oh, my intrusive thoughts won. Yeah, no. Your intrusive thoughts didn't win because your intrusive thoughts don't have a mind of its own.
Mm-hmm.
It's your mind.
Yeah. So when you said that word, when you said, you talk about triggering statements, that triggered me. Where we like, do you understand that you have the ability? Because if you don't, that can be very frustrating.
Here's the thing, right? If you wake up in the morning and you have your health, right? Reasonably good health. You don't have to have perfect health. If you're capable, you can get out of bed and you can brush your own teeth, make a cup of coffee for yourself or whatever it is, and you can actually decide, okay, what am I going to do with my day now? The fact that you don't have a job or the fact that you don't have people who respect you doesn't change the fact that you can decide what you're going to do with your day. It doesn't change the fact that you woke up that morning with the ability and the energy and the competence and the presence of mind to brush your teeth and wash your face, and hopefully we have at least that basic hygiene in place and that sort of thing. Now here's the thing, right? If you don't have even that basic hygiene in place, or you find it to be a struggle or a drain on you, that tells you how low your self-worth, your self-respect is. That's how little you think of yourself.
Yeah.
Not what you think others think of you.
Yeah.
So what standard do you hold yourself to? Not what standard does society hold you to?
And also, there's this thing of I will feel fulfilled when I will look after myself when I will do this when I will go and shower and whatever when I have an interview.
Yeah.
I will go to the hairdresser, for example, and get a haircut when I know I'm starting work.
Yeah.
I will be happy when I have a job. I will feel a sense of fulfillment when I get up and I can go to a 8 to 5 and be in charge of a team. What is wrong with that mindset? That I will be happy when, I will be fulfilled when.
Every single time you say when,
Yeah.
it means that you are waiting for permission.
Yeah.
Right? And when I say waiting for permission, those are all things that you're waiting for permission to say it's okay, now it's a good time to feel happy, to feel accomplished, to feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
Now it's a good time to finally do something with life. You're waiting for someone to validate you, to assure you, to give you reason to believe that, hey, you're worth believing in. And you're not recognizing that the person you're expecting to do this for you, or people who you're expecting to do this for you, you're not recognizing that they have their own demons and their own insecurities.
Yeah, and most often those people don't even know that they enjoy the privilege you are giving them.
Yes. How often do we put people on a pedestal and then blame them for sitting in an ivory tower? We built the pedestal for them. And then we feel the impact of how it is that they come down at us from that high horse of theirs, or that pedestal that we put them on. They don't know they're on that pedestal.
Yeah.
And then we blame them for behaving that way.
Yeah. So men do experience depression, anger, sadness. It's just the way that they
Absolutely.
express it, just because it doesn't look like.
What problem is a man supposed to solve compared to what problem is a woman supposed to solve? What does depression look like, or what's a good reason for a woman to feel depressed as opposed to a man feeling depressed? The generic answer is it's the absence of hope, right? Let's not complicate it. And the science backs me up on this. There is absolutely zero science behind the chemical imbalance theory or the serotonin theory and all of that. There's zero science. Go and do the research, check it out for yourself. Don't just trust everything you see and that everyone tells you. It's not a mental illness. There is zero science behind mental illness as a concept.
Okay.
Zero, right? So when we take it from that perspective and you look at it just simply, how does life work? I'm depressed because I've lost hope in something that's important to me. I've lost hope in the future because something that was important to me is lost or is not available to me. That's why I get depressed. And as long as I've got no reason to hope that it's going to be different, I've got no reason not to feel depressed. It's that simple. It's not a light matter. It's not an insensitive matter. It's not something we take flippantly. But that's how simple and unsophisticated the problem is.
Does the depression last as long as the problem persists?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes it goes beyond even the problem being solved. Because we don't trust that it's not going to happen again. So then we hold on to that fear of what if it happens again? Things never go my way. Things always go wrong.
Okay. And then that fear keeps you in that safety zone.
Yes.
It activates that guard.
Yes. And the reason why we hold on to that fear is because we lose sight of something very important. And that's why I'm saying this therapy approach and the scoping approach and everything else is ridiculous, because when you lose sight of the fact that you have the ability to figure things out, you got to this point in your life, even with the depression and everything else, you got to this point because you had to figure things out at some point or another. Even if someone was holding your hand and showing you the way, you still had to figure out how to do what it is they were trying to teach you. So as long as you remember you've got the ability to figure things out, you won't need things to be figured out for you. You'll work with what you have and you'll try to connect the dots, and that's what purpose looks like. It has to be that you're connecting the dots about your life towards something that you want to achieve because you believe it's valuable, not just to you, not just because you want people to see you achieve it, but because it's going to actually enrich people's lives.
You know, I have actually seen men look at other men differently when this other man actually says that they are vulnerable and they are not okay. For instance, in a work situation, if one man is basically having a hard time, and you can see that they're having a hard time, and the other men in the workspace would be like, but why are you so weak? They don't get the support. And the problem is affected in a working environment. They're affected by the working environment. They are then viewed as weak.
And that perception of weakness is based on the person who is judging,
Yeah.
not the person who is being judged.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to subscribe to someone else's standard for what weakness or strength looks like, then you are weak. Because you don't have your own standard that you're holding yourself to. And that's, you weak, not because you're weak as a judgment, you're weak as in like the same way a reed is weaker than an oak tree. The very nature of being that way is weak.
Yeah.
It makes you vulnerable because you don't have any resilience within you to be able to stand up to adversity because you are holding yourself to everyone else's standard, not your own.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a grounding point, if you don't have something that says that this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and this is what I am happy to figure out as I go along, if you don't have that, then every comment and every criticism and every opinion that comes in from anyone else is going to unseat you. It's going to throw you off balance. It's going to leave you questioning your worth. It's going to leave you angry and feeling dejected and feeling deflated, and then you're going to think life is not worth it, and that's how you end up being analytically negative to the point of thinking, hey, maybe I should just end my life because there's nothing more to it. I've got no hope.
Which brings me to the next question. It's another myth that mental health disorders like eating disorders only affect women.
No. How many obese men are there out there? Eating disorders, it's not even a disorder, it's a reflection of where you're at. There's no shortage of viral videos of actual true life stories where you see people who were 300 pounds or 150, 200 kilos, morbidly obese, and they made a complete comeback because they decided they wanted to. I saw a story the other day about how I think it's the world champion in his age group for rowing is a 78-year-old man, right? And at 78, he got onto a rowing machine that his son or someone in his family had. And just because he took to that kind of movement and exercise, he embraced it. And at 78, his muscles, his body and everything responded to that activity. And that's how he built himself up to a point where he was competing professionally when he started at the age of 78.
Wow.
We've got people these days who, when they reach the age of 50 or 55, they're planning to shut down because, life is tough and we've had our turn, and now we need to just take it easy and wait for death. Enjoy our years of toil and struggle. Come on. You need to be purposeful until the day you die.
I think that's very important because I think it's that I've always been of the opinion that the stagnation, that's what actually ages you.
Yes.
If you don't take on new things, if you don't learn new things, if you don't expose yourself to different. But coming back to anorexia, bulimia, these kinds of things, it does affect a significant amount of men as well.
Yes, it does. And all of that, all of the so-called mental illnesses affects both men and women.
Yeah. So why is it that it's more focused on women? Because that's how I feel. I feel that men's mental health is coming to focus for June. But otherwise, people are more sympathetic towards women in these struggles.
Because we spent the better part of the last century blaming men for the state of women.
Yeah, mental health problems.
Right. Yeah, now that you put it that way, mental health. But seriously, right? And this is not to take a swipe at women or diminish any struggles or anything, but if we're going to keep blaming men for the state of women, women are going to keep needing to prove to men that they are better than them or as good as they are, and it's never going to lead to harmony or understanding. many moons ago, I think I remember us having a conversation where I said that there was a group of men who treated women badly, and that those women then turned that into a global movement.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that there's merit in it. It just means that there are a group of men who treated women badly. There are groups of men in our community who treat women badly. And they are the ones that get the most attention, because you don't go onto social media to go and complain about everything that's good in your life.
Yeah.
And if we have a community in South Africa of, say, a couple of million, right? Brown people. How many people are on social media actively complaining? A couple of thousand. And we see that as a reflection of that's the state of the community. Because we don't have enough purpose, that's why there's so much visibility on all of these nonsense. Right? If you have purpose in your life, you won't have time for any of that.
True.
If you have purpose in your life, you'll be too busy focusing on what is the next problem you need to solve to take that to the next level, to take the quality of life to the next level, to raise your children in a certain way, or inspire them in a certain way, or to build something with your partner in a certain way. You'll be too busy doing that than to be able to sit down and resonate with all the social justice warriors on social media. So because we lack purpose in our life, it's a reflection of the fact that we lack self-respect.
True.
Because if you respect yourself, you'll want to do something with all of that capability and all of that privilege that you have when you wake up in the morning. Right? And there's always someone worse off than you are. Always.
Very, very true.
So if you're busy licking your wounds and feeling sorry for yourself, that is self-indulgence.
Is a little bit of self-indulgence wrong?
If it's not regulated, if it's not moderated, then yes, anything in excess, even good things in excess, are bad for you.
Yeah.
So be moderate about it. Be balanced about it. You wake up in the morning and you're feeling like life is tough and all of that. Yes, okay, life is tough, no problem. But don't become defined by the fact that life is tough.
I think that's very important. Don't become defined by your struggles.
You have the ability to figure things out. So your struggle is an indication of something that you don't know. Figure it out. Make a choice about what is important, what isn't important, which to do that you need to have a mind of your own about what standard do you hold yourself to, what code of life do you hold yourself to. If you don't have that, then whatever you see is wrong is going to define you. And then you're going to look around for how many other people also believe this is like a problem and it's a struggle. And then you're going to pat each other on the back for sharing the same struggle. And what problem did you solve?
So what happens if you see somebody, a man in your life who is struggling with something, be it your son, your husband, your brother, whoever, and they're not a talkative person, but you can see irritability, you can see that they're, they're out of it, and you're just like, okay, I've heard this conversation with Coach Zaid, and now I'm feeling brave enough to go up and say, hey, if you like, you want to go fishing, or how are you feeling? How do they broach the conversation with somebody they can see has not done this before?
The one thing that I've always observed, and also from myself in the past, I've seen how I responded differently in this way, is that there is not a single person on the face of this earth that is not talkative. Put someone in the right company on the right topic, and you'll see them light up.
Right.
If someone seems like they're disengaged, it's because they have no reason to believe that what's important to them, anyone around them cares about it. So, if you see someone who's disengaged, if you see someone who's withdrawn, it's because they feel invisible. And the reason they feel invisible is not because they're not being acknowledged. This acknowledgement goes only so far. They feel invisible because what's important to them is not important to anyone else. Or they have so much of shame about talking about what's important to them because they think everyone else around them is going to laugh at them. Which means you've got a different problem to solve rather than just getting them to talk.
Yeah.
People need to feel seen.
Yeah.
They need to feel heard. If you try to love someone without giving them reason to feel seen and heard, your love is just infatuation. Your love is just self-serving. It's not because you love them, because you don't even see them and hear them. How can you love them? You only love what you get from them.
Yeah, it's the transaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
But because you're so sincere and committed to this intense sincerity and conviction of love that you're proclaiming for them, that you think that that's enough. It's not enough. If someone doesn't feel seen and heard, if they feel invisible, no amount of affection is going to make them feel seen and heard.
And that means that you've got to reach in when they're not reaching out.
The question is, why is it that you didn't, especially when it comes to relationships, right? You're literally living with someone, or you have someone close enough to you to call them a significant other. Why is it that if they're a significant other, they don't feel seen and heard?
Yeah, why don't they feel significant?
Yes, exactly. And there's no man in that word, so you can't blame us.
We can make it significant. You know, women are like that. We will
You'll
give
find
you
a
a
way.
problem to solve.
Now, if only women can be that creative with social problems, real social problems, not blaming men.
You know, it's so terrible. I've seen people, I've seen them thinking they've got it all covered. They understand their partner. They've done the 5 love language quiz. They've done the date nights. And as Coach Zaid exhales in frustration here, because all of that is triggering him, right? They've followed the prescriptions, but they're still not happy.
What does it tell you? You got the solution for a different problem,
Right.
not the problem you're facing.
Yes.
You can't go through a tick sheet process and say, I'm doing all the right things, so it must be him or it must be her.
Yeah.
Because that's not what life is about.
Yeah.
And that's why this prescriptive approach, this therapeutic approach to life,
Therapeutic.
no, that's self-indulgent. What we want is real, meaningful, human-to-human engagement.
Yeah. We must strip away this whole men, woman, different. We must see humans. We must feel for humans. We must communicate like we are. It's amazing how people will say, you're so different at work. Or you're so different. I see you with your family. You're so different.
You're supposed to be.
And it's an issue. It's an issue in the home. That, did you see your father so different with his family? And you find these, and you think, okay, it's an inflammatory statement, but why? Why?
Exactly.
Why is the difference there?
You're supposed to be a different person in different settings, in different social circles, because not everyone should enjoy the same level of access to who you are. Otherwise, who's significant then?
Yeah.
Otherwise, your significant other is just as significant as the next colleague that you have lunch with.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, there has to be some sort of reverence around what it is that is important to you. And if everyone is equally important to you, then that's self-indulgent. You're more invested in how everyone sees you rather than how you're showing up for everyone.
Yeah.
So you have to have your inner circle, because that's the people who will be there for you when everyone else abandons you. If you don't have that, or if you don't at least honor and respect that, then you're part of the problem.
I wonder how many people realize how much of the problem they are a part of. Because a lot of people will probably listen to the interviews also and say, oh, you know what? That's why I am right. And by the end of the conversations, I hope that it has, they've processed it to say, you know what am I actually contributing to this problem? Because it's not just about putting it all on the man, basically. And we know that there are support groups of aunties and people who get together and they're like, so share your woes. No, you think you have it bad, listen to me. So we've got beautiful feedback. Assalamu alaikum, Nazia and Coach Zaid, hope you are well. A powerful and insightful topic, 100%. Thank you for addressing something that is often not spoken about enough. This conversation was meaningful. Well done to you both for creating awareness and encouraging healthier conversations. That's the point of this. What's so bad that you can't talk about?
Yes.
Like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Maturity is reflected in how it is that you can have a difficult discussion without it becoming personal.
Yes. And I mean, it's not like anyone's going anywhere.
They want to. They wish. Some people wish they could go on a boat and just disappear. But you can't. That's not how life works.
Unfortunately or fortunately. But the fact is that we have a lot of people who are getting it. And I'm so happy because most often, men's mental health is overlooked. We only hear, how do you feel as a woman? Take this quiz to find out. Answer these 10 questions. Does he buy you flowers? When was the last time he took you out? And you're like, wow, no? Okay, 6 out of 10, that relationship is doomed.
Yeah.
You're like, these indicators say that your relationship will be over in 3 months.
If you're going to live your life in that way, going through these tick lists and these checkpoints
Yes.
and these quizzes and everything else,
Yes.
make damn sure that everything that you're getting from people around you is on that list.
Yeah.
So that you can tick that off as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Far too often, we look at what it is that we get from people and we think, yeah, but they're supposed to. That's the beginning of taking people for granted. And when you take people for granted, it means you have ingratitude within yourself for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't give what you don't have, right? And the inverse of that is true, which is what I'm more interested in, is that what you do give is what you do have.
Yeah.
So if you give people disrespect, if you give them arrogance, if you give them harshness, if you give them selfishness and things like that, that's how it is that you see yourself.
And I wonder where's those quizzes that say, are you taking advantage of your partner? Are
Yeah.
you? When was the last time you did this for your partner? And you just sitting there going, next page.
Yeah, exactly. We like look at all the stuff that's going to stroke our ego, and the
Yes.
stuff that's going to challenge us is like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah, no, that's why this page don't get likes from me.
Yeah.
But I think that a page, the unpopular page, we would call it, I think that's what's needed.
But for me, I think we must go beyond that. I'm saying the moment you're picking up a quiz to see whether you're doing things right in life,
Yeah.
you've got a problem.
Yeah, yeah,
You can do it for fun,
yeah.
right? And have a good laugh with your partner or with your significant others around you to see like, hey, let's see what they say.
Yeah.
But if you're going to look to that for genuine kind of guidance and insight, you are the problem. Not you've got a problem. You are the problem.
And that is the official statement of the Chat Network today. You are the problem. There, we said it. Code Sage, Jazakallah Khair for today's interview. What's your parting shot for our listeners today?
Let's just stop telling men how they're supposed to be, and for the men, please start being more purposeful about life. Like have something of substance that you want to accomplish, so that you know that accomplishment is going to uplift and enrich the lives of the people around you, not just enrich your social stature. The moment you start doing that, you live for something greater than yourself, and that's where fulfillment lies.
Amen. You're living for something that is bigger than yourself. That will give you so much of meaning and purpose and fulfillment. Like, it's just, I couldn't resonate more. On my side, to all the men who have GHDs, I apologize. Jazakallah khair, Coach Zaid. Till next week between 9 and 10 on
Ameen.
Wednesday. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.